In the last video, I had given the definition of beta and gamma functions and explained the convergence of beta function. In this video, I explained the convergence of gamma function and relation between beta and gamma functions, and what is the expression of beta function in terms of 0 to infinity. How to define gamma function? Gamma function, as I explained in mathematics, most functions are defined in terms of two main improper integrals, beta and gamma functions. I had already given the definition of beta and gamma function. What is gamma function? 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx converges if n greater than 0, and it is a function of n and is denoted by gamma n. It is denoted by gamma n or uppercase gamma n. Now discuss the convergence of this. Discuss the convergence of 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1. You can expect the question in this form. For 2 marks, definition may be asked. Define gamma function. Then you have to write this. 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx converges if n greater than 0, and it is called gamma function. N greater than 0, it converges. It is called gamma function and is denoted by this notation. For 2 marks. Discuss the convergence means you have to prove that it converges for n greater than 0. Here 0 is also a point of discontinuity, because when n minus 1 is less than 0, n is less than 1, 0 becomes point of discontinuity. So we have to discuss the convergence at 0 as well as infinity. Hence we write 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx as 0 to 1 x raised to n minus 1 dx plus 1 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx. This is the first step. Now we consider convergence at 0. Convergence at 0. Take fx is e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1, and we write this as e raised to minus x upon x raised to 1 minus n. Some rearrangement. We rearrange the function like this. And pi x has, we apply comparison test here. Pi x has 1 upon x raised to 1 minus n. What is the next step? You have to take limit fx by pi x. Limit fx by pi x, x tends to 0 is limit x tends to 0 of, see fx and pi x are here. Take fx by pi x, this cancels, fx by pi x, you get e raised to minus x. What is this? 1. Now what does test says? If it is finite and not 0, therefore these two, 0 to 1 fx dx and 0 to 1 pi x dx are alike. They behave alike. Either both converge or do not converge. But we know the behavior of this 0 to 1 pi x dx. 0 to 1 pi x dx is 0 to 1 1 upon x raised to 1 minus n. It converges if n 1 minus n is less than 1. We have used the standard integral for comparison here. What is the standard integral? A to b dx by x minus a raised to n, it is of that form, converges if n is less than 1. This is the standard integral. It is of this form because a is 0 here. So it converges if n is greater than 0. 1 minus n is less than 1 means transpose n is greater than 0. So this converges at 0 if n greater than 0. 0 to 1 pi x dx converges, therefore 0 to 1 fx also converges. Fx means 0 to 1 e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 converges. Right here. Therefore, by practical comparison test, 0 to 1 x raised to n minus 1 e raised to minus x dx converges if n is greater than 0. Take this as 2. This is 2. So, for n greater than 0, it converges at 0. Now, convergence at infinity. Convergence at infinity. For that we use again comparison test, but not practical comparison test. We use this here. We have for sufficiently large value of n, e raised to x is greater than x raised to n plus 1. For sufficiently large value of n, large value of n, e raised to x is greater than x raised to n plus 1. That is, e raised to x is greater than x raised to n minus 1 into x square. So I write like this: n plus 1 is written as n minus 1 x square. Therefore, 1 upon x square is greater than e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1. I hope all of you have followed this one. Some simple rearrangement, simple mathematics. E raised to x is greater than x raised to n plus 1 for very large value of n. So e raised to x is greater than x raised to n minus 1 x square. Transpose this. 1 upon x square is greater than, if you transpose this, it becomes e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1. Now, integral 1 to infinity 1 upon x square dx converges. Why it converges? Because we have two standard integrals for comparison. This is for second type of improper integrals. A to b dx by x minus a raised to n converges if n less than 1. N less than 1. At the same time, we have one more integral 1 to infinity 1 upon x raised to n dx converges if n is greater than 1. You have to remember all these results. Very important there. See, in this case, when the limit is finite, a to b dx by x minus a raised to n converges if n less than 1. Remember. But 1 to infinity dx by x raised to n converges when n greater than 1. Here, converges because, this is the result, because n is 2 greater than 1. Now, apply that test. What is the test? Comparison test. If fx and pi x are two functions, positive, fx and pi x, and fx is greater than or equal to pi x for all x, then if fx converges, 1 to infinity fx converges, then 1 to infinity pi x also converges. Now apply that test here. Now 1 upon x square converges 1 to infinity, therefore by comparison test 1 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx also converges. Converges. Now take this as 3. From 1 to 3, integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx converges if n is greater than 0, and it will be a function of n and is called gamma function. So this is the convergence of gamma function. This converges if n is greater than 0 and is called gamma function. I think the method is clear. We have applied comparison test here. Now next is prove that some relations here involving gamma function. Prove that gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. This is a recurrence formula. Gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. Proof is simple. All these relations play very important role in further studies of gamma and beta functions. Gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. How to prove this? We have by definition of gamma function, gamma n is, and these definitions also you should be perfect with the definitions. Beta mn, what is beta mn, and gamma n. What is gamma n? 1 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to n minus 1 dx. Always remember n greater than 0. Then only it converges and it becomes a function of n, gamma n greater than 0. Therefore, gamma n plus 1 is 1 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to n dx. Followed? Now, we integrate by parts. Right hand side, integrate by parts. You have studied the rule of integration by parts. By parts means when there is product of two functions, we apply integration by parts. What does integration by parts says? Suppose there is product of two functions, first and second function. It is first function, integration of second, minus integration of second, and derivative of, I assume that both are functions of x here, d by dx of first with respect to x. This is called integration by parts. In 11th and 12th standard you have studied this, integration by parts. Now I apply integration by parts, taking first function and this as second function. What do you get? Gamma n plus 1 is first function x raised to n. What is integration of e raised to minus x? E raised to minus x upon minus 1. Limit is from 1 to infinity, minus integral 1 to infinity e raised to minus x upon minus 1 n x raised to n minus 1 with respect to x. Carefully apply the formula. At this level, you should be able to apply the formula fluently. Integration by parts. First function, integration of second, limit is definite integral, it is 1 to infinity, minus integration from 1 to infinity of integration of second d by dx of first. Now see, this becomes 0 because limits are infinity and 1. Is it 1? Sorry, it is 0 to infinity. Gamma, not 1 it is, sorry, it is 0 to infinity. Correct? 0 to infinity. Now, it becomes 0 because you take limit x tends to infinity of x raised to n e raised to minus x. It is limit x tends to infinity of x raised to n by e raised to x, and this becomes 0. As x tends to infinity, x raised to n by e raised to x becomes 0. So, if you take limit infinity, it is 0, and when x is 0, because of this, it is 0. Totally, this becomes 0. Plus n 0 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to n minus 1 dx. And it is n, say what is this? E raised to minus x raised to n minus 1, it is gamma n. So important formula it is gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. We use this as a recurrence formula. We have used integration by parts, that's all. Integration by parts. Next, prove that gamma n plus 1 is n factorial. This is a recurrence formula. Gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. Using this, we prove that if n is a positive integer, gamma n plus 1 is n factorial, positive integer. Suppose it is not a positive integer, we use gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n, and we simplify. Now to prove this, we have gamma n plus 1 is n gamma n. Therefore, gamma n is, replace n plus 1 by n. What do you get? N minus 1, gamma n minus 1. Gamma n minus 1 is n minus 2, gamma n minus 2. Correct? Now, continuing like this, gamma 2 is 1 gamma 1. Read 1 gamma 1. Now substituting, we get gamma n plus 1 is, using all this we get gamma n plus 1 is n into n minus 1, n minus 2, etc. into 1 into gamma 1. 1 into gamma 1. Now we find out what is gamma 1. Take this as 1. Gamma n plus 1 is this. Gamma 1 means, yes, what is gamma 1? 0 to infinity. Say by mistake I had written 1 to infinity there. That is why I told you should be very careful while writing the functions, standard functions. 0 to infinity it is e raised to minus x, x raised to 0, 1 minus 1, n minus 1. N is 1 n. So it is 0 to infinity e raised to minus x dx. Now evaluate e raised to minus x, 0 to infinity. Simplify and see what you get. Integration is minus e raised to minus x from 0 to infinity minus of 1 upon infinity minus 1. E raised to 0 is 1. 1 upon infinity is 0, therefore 1. What is gamma 1? Therefore, gamma 1 is 1. So substituting in 1 from 1, gamma n plus 1 is n into n minus 1, n minus 2, etc. 3 to large factor is 1. Because you will, this terminates at gamma 1. Finally you will get gamma 1. And gamma 1 is 1. Now it is nothing but n factorial. So if n is positive integer, then gamma n plus 1 is n factorial. Remember again a formula it is gamma n plus 1 is n factorial. Next result is symmetry of this beta function. Prove that beta mn is beta nm. Important result. It is symmetric. Beta mn is beta nm. Now to prove this, we have beta mn is, I think you remember these definitions. They are standard improper integrals, beta and gamma functions. What is beta mn? 0 to 1, x raised to m minus 1, 1 minus x raised to n minus 1 dx. This is beta mn. We prove that it is same as beta nm. For that, substitute x is equal to 1 minus 1. This is important here. If you remember this much, that is sufficient. Because next thing is you can, all of you can easily do that one. Substitution. When substitution is used, the definite integral, limit changes, all that you know. So this step important here. X is 1 minus y. So what is dx? Minus dy. And limits changes. When x is 0, y is equal to 1. X is 1, y is 0. So when substitution is used in a definite integral, substitution means change of variable. The limits also changes. When substitution is used, limits of this definite integral changes. Important result, beta mn is beta nm. This is the substitution. This step is important. Now substituting we get beta mn is therefore 0 to 1. What is x? 1 minus y raised to m minus 1. What is 1 minus x? Y raised to n minus, limits changes here. What are the limits? 1 and 0 here. 1 and 0 minus dy. Minus dy. Am I correct here? Therefore, minus 1 to 0, y raised to n minus 1, 1 minus y raised to m minus 1 dy. Minus a to b is plus b to a. That properties of definite integrals you have studied. 0 to 1, y raised to n minus 1, 1 minus y raised to m minus 1 dy. Now compare with this. What is beta mn? 0 to 1 x raised to m minus 1, 1 minus x raised to n minus 1. But here, in place of m, we have n here. N. And definite integral is independent of variable used. In place of x, you may get y, t, z, so on. When definite integral is independent of the variable used. So, this is beta nm. Thus, beta mn is beta nm. Mn is nm. It is symmetric. That is the result. Now, more results are there. I prove one by one. I continue the next results in the next video. Okay.